Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Matt Lateplo, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our next live presentation from GoGold Resources, Inc. Please note you can submit questions in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Schedule Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Brad Langell, President and CEO and Director of GoGold Resources, Inc., which trades on the OTCQX Best Market under the symbol GLGDF and on the TSX under the symbol GGD. Welcome, Brad.
Oh, good morning, Matt. And nice to be here this morning. I'm joining from our mine site down here in Mexico, and thank you for the opportunity to present to your audience this morning. And I guess I'll get right into the presentation. And to start with, I just quickly look at the forward-looking statement. We are going to make some forward-looking statements here, which will relate to some of the risks that are normal to the mining industry. And those would have to do with resources, reserves, and recovery. That being said, how you mitigate these risks is dealing with experienced management teams who have done this before. And I'll tell you that with GoGold, we have been doing this for quite some time. My experience in the industry is over 30 years. Most of that time was, in fact, almost all of it was spent here in Mexico, building 4 mines along with my team, and in 4 companies, starting back in the 1990s, this company called Gannon Gold. And then we also had Gannon Gold built a mine that produced about 250,000 ounces a year of gold equivalent. We had Mex Gold, another operation in Mexico, where we bought a mine from a private family and doubled the production, and 3 years later sold it for $375 million. Ricos Gold back in the late 2007, 2010, when we had a discovery, and we sold that company to Capital Gold out of New York. But ever since 2011, it's been GoGold as our vehicle. And within GoGold, we have been doing a lot of what we normally do in Mexico, and that's dealing with private individuals, private families, finding off-the-radar opportunities, such as we have done in GoGold. A good example of that would be Santa Gratuitas. That was a project that we actually acquired in 2014. We invested, and it was not an asset that anybody's paying much attention to. We acquired it for $9 million and spent $11 million, and then we were able to do a transaction with GoGold, one of the premium major producers in the business, for $95 million. And currently, GoGold has an operating mine at Parral, and that mine has been operating now for the last almost 10 years, and continuous production. And it's a very interesting project in that it really has a focus on environmental cleanup. We treat old mine waste that we've applied new technology to, and with that old mine waste, we remove it from the center of a city of 135,000 people, where it's been sitting for upwards of 300 years, these tailings. And of course, back then, they were just laid down on the ground and not in a very good environmental state. So the city of Parral maintains the environmental liability, but we went to them with a proposal on how we could move those tailings to a 21st century agglomerated heap leach, apply some technology that we've developed around tailings, and extract gold, silver, and make a profit, and for our shareholders, clean up the community, the environment, and give the community jobs and all the other good things that go along with that, as far as community, good corporate involvement with the community and then assisting with many community projects. And that has worked out very well. I point this out, usually I don't focus too much on our operation because it's really a small part of what's coming next, which is our Los Ricos project. But I would like to point out that since we are a producer, we will benefit while we are building our next mine. We will benefit from the movement in the precious metals price. And I myself personally think that 2024 may be a very good year for the precious metals business. So again, we do what we've done in GoGold, which is we look for opportunities, we transact, we invest in properties, we sell them. We do what we did with Agnico, where we made $95 million on a sale. We have operations. We have an operations team in Corral where we produce metal, and we have for the last almost 10 years now. And we have another 5 years of production in Corral. But the real driver for the company is our Los Ricos project, which we, again, in 2019, we acquired this project from private individuals for $7.5 million, and we've been making investments there over the last 5 years, developing resources, doing economic studies. I'll go into that in a moment, but I do want to touch on another very crucial thing for any explorer, developer, producer in our business, and that's the availability to capital. Beyond being technical, and myself, I'm a geologist by education, but mostly I'm a businessman in the precious metals market, and I work a lot in the capital markets, raising money for these companies to build these mines. And over the last 20 years, myself and my team, we've raised over $1.5 billion of equity, and we've also done hundreds of millions of dollars of debt deals to build these mines. And if we look now at GoGold's balance sheet, we'll see that there's 326 million shares outstanding. We have about 99 million US cash in the bank, no debt, and we have also a large receivable for us from the Mexican government, and they do pay on that. That's their VAT tax or value-added tax refunds, which it takes a while to get them, but they do pay them, and when we get paid, we also get paid a very high interest rate on them as well. So with all that capitalization, our next step, which is building the mine in Los Ricos, we see that as just normal course of business for us. We'll go on to do another debt portion, and with our equity we have today in that debt portion, we'll get the mine built in Los Ricos. So I'll go right to the Los Ricos project now, which is located in the state of Jalisco in Mexico. And it's located about a 2-hour drive from Guadalajara. And Guadalajara would be the third largest city in Mexico with more than 6 million population. And outside of Guadalajara, on a 4-lane highway, most of it's on a 4-lane highway, is our Los Ricos project. Very easily accessible. There's water, there's power, there's local communities of the closest one would have about 3,000 people. That'd be about a 30-minute drive away from Los Ricos north and south, and also another community of about 6,000 people, which would be about 45 minutes away. So there's available labor in the area. And the slide ahead of you, in front of you, I'm sorry, is the Los Ricos project. And you'll notice it's Los Ricos north and south. And it spans over a distance of over 25 kilometers from top to bottom. And there's 2 groups of claims, again, which we noted to be Los Ricos north and south. Now, again, we get in there in March of 2019. We started off with drilling in Los Ricos South, and we then completed a first economic study in Los Ricos South. And it was not just drilling and technical studies, we also went in with a focus on consolidating more ground, more claims. We started off with 26 concessions, and today we have 46 concessions. So, and we've assembled a tremendous land package for the ultimate development here. So in Los Ricos South, we were waiting for one more kind of critical claim that we wanted to get around the work that we were doing to extend the ore body that we were developing, and that was called the Eagle concession. We were able to acquire that in last year, and with that, we started a very aggressive drill program on the Eagle concession, and we have published now a resource on Los Ricos South. We've upgraded our resource and increased the size of our resource in Los Ricos South. And while we're waiting for that additional concession that we acquired last year, we went to Los Ricos North and we started a big drill program up there. And in December of 2022, we announced a 162 million ounce resource in Los Ricos North. So we've been busy. We've now moved back to Los Ricos South with the Eagle concession that we acquired. We did more drilling. We upgraded the resource. We increased the size of the resource. Now in Los Ricos South, we have 98.5 million ounces equivalent of measured and indicated resource, including another 11 million ounces of inferred resource, and that's silver equivalent. The project's about 60% silver by value and about 40% gold. The other important thing about that drilling, besides increasing the size of the resource, we increased the confidence in the resource. That means we infill drilled as we're now preparing to take this to the final steps of study, which is a definitive feasibility study, which we plan to release next May. And that definitive feasibility study plus a front-end engineering study is what then we will make our construction decision, build decision, and from that we will build the mine in Los Ricos South. But I'll tell you that we do feel very strongly that this is a project that has exceptional economics. Our studies to date have shown a 458 million net present value of the deposit in Los Ricos South, and that's at a 5% discount rate, and that shows a 37% internal rate of return. It's 11-year mine life. We will recover 47 million ounces of silver and another almost 500,000 ounces of gold, and some copper as well, about 14 million pounds of copper. The initial capex is 148 million, and that's where this our strong balance sheet is going to come in so helpful for us, in that we have the equity component. And what I do, one of the roles of my job along with my team, is we go to market our company, and we go to some of the investor gold shows, and for example, the Denver Gold Show. And you know what we hear at those gold shows is, in this market, that there is debt out there available, but the debt providers are saying that a lot of the companies do not have the equity component to be able to get the debt. And in this market, it's very hard to get the equity. So GoGold's in a great position because we do have that equity component. So we think it's going to be relatively easy for us to now get the debt component. We do have what we feel will be a bit of a competitive bidding for the debt component here on this project. The other great thing about the project is the all-in sustaining cost of just over $9 for a silver equivalent ounce, and it'll produce an average of 8 million silver equivalent ounces per year. So, you know, we look at this project, it's going to be a great cash flowing project. It's a project that we'll be able to get into with a bite-sized capital number of 148 million, and it starts getting production going in Los Ricos South. So this, along with our production in Corral, which ranges from about 1.8 million to 2 million ounces a year, and we have about another 5 years of reserves there, makes us around a 10 million ounce a year silver equivalent production. But there is more. There is more, and that is Los Ricos North. It says, you remember from the slide I showed, we have our Los Ricos North and the Los Ricos South project. Well, Los Ricos North, we were drilling up there, and we had put together 162 million ounces of silver equivalent. Now, that project is behind Los Ricos South in its development. It was the second deposit that we tackled in the district, and it's at a resource stage now. But into 2023, one of our objectives was to complete a first economic look at that project, which we did. And in that economic look, we ended up with a preliminary economic assessment that showed at the first stage of economic assessment that that project has a 413 million NPV, and again at a 5% discount and about a 29% internal rate of return. So a 13-year mine life. So this project will also produce silver equivalent ounces, or projected to, at very low costs of under $10 all in sustaining, $9.68, and an average annual production of 8.8 million ounces. Now, if you look at these two projects, what we have in the Los Ricos district is a clear path of towards making this into one of the top 5 silver producing assets in the business over the coming years. And as far as silver projects in the world, we believe this could be one of the top 5. So, and in GoGold. So in the Los Ricos project, we have that clear line of sight, that clear path from building a Los Ricos South, doing additional engineering, economic studies in Los Ricos North, and maybe 3 to 4 years after Los Ricos South is in production, then we are focused on building Los Ricos North and adding that to our production stream, which could make the company a 15 to 17 million ounce a year silver producer with projected all-in costs of under $10 all-in sustaining costs. So if you really think about that and you look at some of our peers, that would make us one of the real significant mid-tier producers in the industry. Now, there's a lot of work to do from here to there, but we have a clear objective we have that organically in-house, we have that pathway to do it. And on this chart, we just show how potentially we could grow the growth, or grow the production growth in our 100% owned Los Ricos district organically, and potentially become one of the larger, lower cost, mid-tier silver producers in the industry over the coming years. And that is where I do believe that the value lies in GoGold and Los Ricos and the team. We know how to finance projects with some of the best institutional investors in our business and retail investors. We know how to deploy that money soundly with good business strategy, with a strong technical team that can build mines, has a real base of knowledge in the business, has good relationships in the country of Mexico, where I've worked for over 27 years, and can get things done. So we look forward to the growth of value for our shareholders over the coming years in GoGold with our pipeline of growth, and I personally believe we have a good opportunity in the growth in the commodity price over the coming years. And that's why I think this is a worthy investment opportunity for shareholders to look at. Now, with that, I'd open up to any questions that might the audience might have.
So we have one question here. What is the path timeline to production at Los Ricos South?
So in Los Ricos South, we're completing a definitive feasibility study in May. We applied for permit last April. We're going through that permitting process very expeditiously. Everything is working well. We're at the end stage of the technical part of that permitting process. We hope to, in January, have all the technical part completed with the environmental authority. And we're hopeful that we'll have a permit in the first 6 months of 2024, and then we're right into building.
Next question. Thoughts on 2024 M&A activity in the silver space?
The only comment I make there, I do believe, I feel it's that things are lined up well for an increasing commodity price. And I do think that most of the M&A happens in that, from my experience, happens in that environment. When you see the commodity price rising, that's usually when the M&A activity heats up. And so we'll see. But GoGold has its head down, focused on delivering on development and construction and growth and production. And production. I mean, remember, we are a producer, so we will benefit from commodity price rise. So I think 2024 will shape up to be very, very interesting for precious metals producers.
Next question. Do you have production numbers for 2023 and projections for 2024?
Our production for 2023 will be released this week after we complete the year. 2024, our production will be, we do believe it will be growing from 2023 and 2024. At the operations in Parral, as noted in our press releases, we're entering the final zone that we will produce in the mine. And this zone had higher levels of zinc. So we've expanded in a construction operation our processing facility to accommodate producing zinc in a plant that's called a SART. And the SART will actually regenerate cyanide as well, which is one of our highest cost consumables and really impacts the economics of the operation. So that plant will be finished in December, and it will be turned on. And we do feel it's going to impact in a very positive way production in 2024. And it will greatly lower our cost of production. And with the increasing commodity price, we look at a good year for Parral in 2024.
That concludes the questions.
Great. Well, anyway, thank you to the OTC for the opportunity to present today. And, of course, we can be accessed through our website and are always open for